Oh, hey MTV, welcome to my crib. All right, today is the day. Finally going to be showing off my complete disc golf collection. I have my setup the way I want it now to where I feel like it was time to do this video. A lot of people requested this after I kind of hinted at it when I did my in the bag, but today is today. Today I'm going to show you a brief overview. Well, we'll get pretty extensive. I shouldn't say brief. We're going to get a little in depth and show you all the discs I own. Just for a little background, I've been playing disc golf for a little over 10 years now, so that's kind of what I've accumulated, and I've also worked in disc golf now for 3 years, and so a lot of the discs I have are from some of the adventures I've been a part of through that process. So yeah, I don't think I have one of the craziest collections, but I think it's interesting. And something I should mention is kind of keep me paying attention during this collection, because something I'm going to do for this video is I want to have everybody comment down below their favorite disc or discs from this collection, and then I'm going to choose certain people to win the disc that they loved. So now, that doesn't mean that any disc is up for grabs, but I'm willing to give away just about everything I have when it comes to these discs. So yeah, make sure to be paying attention, and I always want to do giveaways, show my appreciation to the audience. So if you comment down below, that's all you have to do to enter the giveaway, and just say what disc you'd like to have, and I'm going to pick a few people to then win that very disc. All right, let's get into the setup here. Now, first things first, I got to talk about my racks, okay? I, for years, was storing on these Walmart shoe racks, I should say. These are not very sturdy. They're obviously made for shoes. They're not great. They got the job done, but they're not good. And finally, I was able to upgrade Heiser disc racks. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they sent out 8 of their stackable racks. So I have 4 stacked here and 4 stacks here. These are incredible. They are super, super premium. And now I finally have the disc racks of my dreams. It's super premium. They did the foundation logo on here for me, which is awesome. The way these are is you buy them one stackable rack at a time, and then like you can see I can lift it off there. There's like rubber feet that basically sit down in the other rack, and that's how they stack. So it's really easy. These were they're lightweight, easy to make. I'll have the link in the description to go check out their website. Heiser Racks hooked me up. Huge shout out to them. They have the dividers on these as well. These are just incredible. When it comes to, if you're a serious disc golfer who's looking for a really premium, amazing way to display your discs, could not recommend these enough. They're awesome. So once again, big thank you to them. And yeah, make sure to check them out, link in the description if you're interested in these racks. Figured I would mention that to start with. Let's get into the discs. So I have painstakingly organized these. They were never really organized before, but now what I've done is I basically got my Innova is here, and a little bit here. Innova and Trilogy are definitely what I have the most of, being because Innova is just always been my favorite company, and Trilogy, I was sponsored by them for a while. So I've got Trilogy here, and here. So a lot of Trilogy. This is all Discraft. This is Discraft. And then there's some other little brands sprinkled throughout. So we're going to just kind of go through. I'm not going to name every single disc, obviously, but I'll kind of highlight certain ones that I think stand out, especially ones that you might be interested in commenting to win in the giveaway. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of show off what I have. Like I said, I don't think it's the coolest collection ever. I don't have all these $1,000 discs, but I've got some pretty cool stuff. And I think it'll just be a fun little thing to kind of show you what I've got. So we'll start on the miscellaneous rack first. This is one of my old racks. I need to get a couple more of the stackable ones to fit these. But these are brands that I don't have a ton of, so I've just kind of left them out. Some of these I used to have more of these brands, but I probably have, I would guess, around 500 discs in this collection right now, and I've definitely had more at times, but I try to give them away when I can. If people start playing disc golf, I try to give them a bunch just because there's no need to hoard them. But it is fun. I used to be a little kid when I started playing disc golf, and I dreamed of a setup like this. So this is pretty cool. So this is all the gateway I have up here, top left. Nothing too crazy. I have a few prototypes that I was given whenever we visited the Gateway factory in St. Louis. So that's kind of cool. The only thing up here that I've really bagged, I did putt with Magics for a while. I had these Gateway Magics that got scribbled on by Hunter and Connor. I don't remember why. And this Gateway Blaze is the first Gateway disc I ever bought. So that's pretty cool. So that's all the Gateway I have right now. I've had more at times. This is all the Prodigy I have, which I think is funny. It's actually I do have more Prodigy for a video coming in the future, wink, wink. And I used to have a heck of a lot more, but I gave a bunch to my brother because when I was in college, I was sponsored by Prodigy on our college team. And my brother then played on that college team, so I gave a bunch of it to him. So I don't really have a lot of Prodigy left, but I've had way more at times. I don't have anything too crazy in here anymore. A lot of my original stuff I've kind of been sorting out for a future video. Once again, wink, wink. So nothing too crazy in the Prodigy. This over here is some Legacy stuff that I have. I would totally do more with Legacy. I think their plastic is really cool, but this is just a little sprinkle of some of the molds that I really enjoy. The Enemy, this was in my bag for a while. These Ghosts are really sweet. But I don't have a ton of that. Then this is my MVP Streamline Mint, like all the Thought Space stuff that's manufactured with them. Not a ton of that either, mainly because I just haven't bagged a lot of this stuff, and stuff that I do bag for them is a little bit newer to me. But yeah, I've got a little bit of gyro stuff, some NVs and such. This is a cool one here. This is a Streamline Trace. This is one of the first custom stamp runs that this foundation did when I was working for them. It said To the Moon on it, and it had on the rocket here, it says it's called the Heiser 2, and it's from Bogiesville, USA, which I thought was really fun. It's one of my favorite stamps that Foundation has ever done, and it was a long time ago. So that's a pretty neat one in there. I've got some other, this was the disc that we ran for our monthly subscription box that has me on it with a sword fighting. Have you ever even seen this thing?
I don't think so.
Yeah, fighting a phoenix, because this disc is a phoenix. We did that, and we made an AI stamp basically to do that, but that was part of like my subscription box for the month where I picked out the discs because I bagged the phoenix.
Did you pick that stamp?
I was there.
Oh, it just kind of happened.
It just, yeah, we did our best. I've got some envies over here. Yeah, nothing too crazy though. I don't bag a ton of that stuff. This row here, moving down, is Lone Star and Hooligan. They're both manufactured by the same by Lone Star. I recently have had a Hooligan send me out a bunch of stuff. I've been throwing around these caches. I've got a couple of these. A really nice overstable throwing putter. They sent me out a bunch of stuff. They told me that this, I believe this is a rope, if I remember correctly. I believe this is a rope, and I think they said this was like 1 out of like 200 or 1 out of 150. So I guess this is pretty rare. It's a really cool looking disc. Yeah, so I've got a little bit of that stuff. I like the Lone Star and the Hooligan stuff. It's pretty cool. This disc was in my bag for a long time. They did Chandler Kramer signature Warbird with like the Friends and the Seinfeld going on there, but it warped, which I was really sad about because I have not felt one like this yet. As anybody from those companies is watching this and you have any more of this disc, I would like a couple, please. Thank you. I need them. Yeah, okay, moving down, I've got a couple like miniature sections down here. This is all my Finish Line stuff. Mostly have a few Supras in here because I bagged the Supra, and I've got a couple of their newer molds as well. But yeah, I dabbled in a little bit of the Finish Line stuff. This is like, these discs are all like from starter set videos that Foundation has done, which is kind of funny because some of these become like folk legends. Like I know a lot of people loved the Grampus whenever we threw that in a video because it was like a pretty good putter. But I've got just like random discs in there, and there's just some other, I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one that I aced with. The first ace we had on the Foundation channel was the starter set disc, the Coastline Disc Golf Torque. And it was, yeah, 6/24/22, aced my ace number 4 of my career. So that was pretty cool. This is like the Drew Gibson section down here because it's like some EV7 putters, and then also his signature Jokery when he threw this like Pro Discus disc. And then just a couple other random discs down here, some Daredevil discs. I bought this one because it's called the Narwhal, and that's about it. It kind of flies nice though. And then I've got one of these Arobi Epics. These like have like the odd shaped rim where it gets thicker at one point. You're supposed to be able to throw overhands really well, but I don't throw overhands hard enough for it to work. So yeah, okay, that's like the miscellaneous shelf. We're going to move on now to the main shelf. All right, main shelf now. One of the main shelves. This has all my Innova on it. First of all, got the A2000 sitting here. Got to mention that. This is my baseball glove in high school, and it's here. I don't know why. Also, I do have a couple just like random mini discs up here. I've got this mini M4, a Clash like mini disc, a mini Get Freaky Zone, and this is an Innova Gopher. It's like an old catch disc almost, pretty neat. But yeah, this top section, so these are all my Innova putters. I'll start here. This is probably like my most important disc in my collection. You know, I won't make you wait too long in the video. This right here is a DX AVR that, and when I got it, probably weighed 130 grams. I don't know how much it weighs now. This is my first disc golf putter that I ever had. When I first played disc golf, my uncle took me out to get a Innova starter set at Dick's Sporting Goods. It has quite literally changed the course of my life at this point. Pretty insane, but this was part of that starter set. I don't have the mid-range or the fairway that it came with, the Shark and the Leopard, but this is the original. So like, this is what began disc golf for me. It has my old home phone number, my landline home phone number on it, which is crazy. I printed my name on the back of it. Like, you can barely see that anymore. This signature was like before I really knew how to do my signature. This thing is pretty crazy, and I'm just glad that I still have it because it's like a part of, I'm gonna have to frame it if I get too far into this disc golf world. Yeah, and then kind of moving across, I have a bunch of other AVRs as well. Just some DX AVRs. I do have some other like older discs. I really like old discs. This is I do have some Millennium plastic in the Innova section as well because it's made by the same company. This is a really old Millennium Omega Super Soft. I thought it was really cool. Anytime I see something from like an older company that looks old, I'm gonna grab it. Got this at USDGC like 2 years ago. Pretty cool stamp they did. Like for example, there is like this Innova XD right here. So if you notice the difference between this one and this one is the way they write out Innova. You can tell that's one of the older runs, and like I'm just automatically a sucker for that stuff. Like I just love the fact that it is old and like a piece of history. Old discs are my favorite. Got this Toro this year at USDGC. This is a Moondust one. This is what I got a couple days before I tried to get a rock and got absolutely gypped out of that, but no big deal. I've got this USDGC Toro as well. This actually came in the players pack last year. Birdie gave this to me. Then you got the Polecats. I don't really like the Polecat, but somehow I have a couple cool ones. I've got a DX one that's team stamped that Robbie C gave to me. And I also have a Halo Polecat as well. So somehow I have like two really cool Polecats and I don't like them. Got some old Rhinos up here. Some other old AVR. This is another AVR that I really love. I bagged this a few times. This is a San Marino AVR, an older one from 2004 that I found that is really, really straight, really nice flyer. And yeah, some old Novas, some old Rhinos. That's kind of the putter section there for Innova. Moving on to the rocks. This is probably the disc I have the most of any mold of any company or anything like that. I have a lot of rocks. So I've got like a selection of DX ones, some KC ones. I just recently, a guy at USDGC gave me this 10-time KC Pro Rock in really good shape, which I'm going to eventually throw, just kind of like savoring it at this point. But that was pretty awesome. I've got a bunch of other like KC rocks. This one's pretty cool. This one was in my bag for a while. Yeah, so I've got a lot of baseline ones. I don't have any baseline rocks in my bag at the moment, but I do love them. Then I got some Star Rocks. I've got these two Innova teams, or well, they're not team stamped, they're Air Force stamped, which I'm not really sure what that means anymore. It used to be like only team members have them. These actually turned up in our youth section at Foundation, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna snag those. So yeah, I got those. Recently, I was able to get my hands on a pretty cool Star Rock. This is some guy sent this to me that I'm not even sure is from my home course, but this was from Llama-Palooza in 2011 at Gifford Pinchot State Park. And Gifford Pinchot State Park was my home course growing up. That's the only course I really played at. And they were called, their club name was the Llamas, and Llama-Palooza was an event they did each year. And somebody found this and thought I'd like it because I love that course. And so that's pretty neat. Then I have a bunch of Rock 3s. I've got this cool USDGC one. This is one I was actually able to get a couple years ago. Got some other random ones. This Henna Blomers one is really, really cool. One of my favorite discs. This is probably like number 2 favorite disc in my collection though. This is a Will Shoestrick 2010 United States Disc Golf Champion rock right here. These were commemorative. They made these every year. The reason this one's actually number 970 of 2000. And the reason this stands out to me is because when I started playing disc golf, Innova was the company of my choice. And a lot of the Innova pros, the way they would layer their bag is they did baseline rocks, but then their stable rock would always be a USDGC rock because that was like the only way to buy a champ rock because the Rock 3 didn't exist yet. And so this was like awesome. Hunter got this for me and it's like the coolest thing ever. So very, very excited about that disc, and I'm sure I'll throw it again someday. I just really don't want to lose it. Got a few more mid-ranges down here. Nothing too crazy. I got this really old Champ Spider. They don't make that anymore. I got some like other stuff. I just bought this at USDGC. This is a Millennium. Forget what this one was called. I forget what they call this disc, but it's basically the old Discmania MD4 mold. So that's pretty neat. And then, yeah, some old Cobras and Stingrays. Nothing too crazy. That's the mid-ranges. On to the drivers. So, Innova drivers, I don't have a ton of fairways, but I do have a lot of distance drivers because Destroyers and Wraiths are two of my favorite molds. So, got a bunch of Leopards here to kind of start with. Nothing too crazy. I've bagged the Leopard here and there. But then moving into the Firebirds, I do have some pretty cool Firebirds. I've got 3 here that are pretty neat. So this is I want to say 2019, maybe somewhere around that year. It's not super rare, but I beat this one in a lot. And for those of you who know, a beat in Sexton Firebird is an awesome, really straight disc. This one here is really cool. Somebody Sharpied it, which is a crime. But this is a Pro Line Firebird. And for those of you who are history buffs with the Innova stuff, at one point when they first started making their Champion, this is actually really like a CE type plastic, they were calling it Pro Line. And that is what this is. And so that is very, very neat. It's still really overstable to this day. And then I also have this really cool Sexton Firebird. That was the one that he actually doodled. And they ran that. So I do have a couple cool Firebirds. Then I got a few Beasts over here. This used to be like my favorite disc golf disc. This is one of the first discs that when I started playing, I was able to throw well. And this Champ one here, I blocked phone numbers. This Champ one here was like one of my favorite discs for probably 5, 6, 7 years. And I still have it to this day. It was also the first disc I ever lost and was able to get back. Then I have some Eagles. That's like kind of one of my favorite overstable fairways. Got this really cool pastry dyes one here. This one's brand new. I haven't thrown it yet. Got a few Thunderbirds. This one here is really neat because it has our West Coast Tour stamp on it. It was like an awesome thing we got to do, so it's really cool commemorative thing there. Got a couple of these AB T-Bird 3s. I think this was the older one, and yeah, this one is pretty new, but I guess they won't make these anymore now that he's with Discraft, but this is an awesome mold, and I bagged these for quite a while. And then just a few different obscure things, and then that kind of moves on into the distance drivers. Distance drivers are primarily Wraiths and Destroyers, two of my favorite discs. I have a bunch of both of them. So first of all, I have Wraiths. Like basically all of these are Wraiths. I'll just highlight a few of my favorite ones. This Pastry Dyes Nathan Queen Wraith is like one of the most overstable ones I ever got. And that was one of the first discs they ever sent me, which is really cool. I have a bunch of Star ones. I have a few older, like this one is this is a pre-flight numbers Champion Wraith. That's pretty cool. I try to find some like older ones as well. But most of the ones I try to look for are just like good Star Wraiths. Like that's what I like to throw. So one of my favorite molds ever though, I also have a team stamped one that Robbie C gave me, and that's a really cool. Unfortunately, very understable, but a very cool disc. Yeah, and then got a few random ones on this side of things here. This disc right here, this is a Champion Monster. This one has a pretty cool story because when I was in college and I knew Paul Macbeth at the time, I had just met him recently, and he was still with Innova at the time, and he started throwing Champion Monsters, and they were out of production. So Innova gave him a bunch that they had, and then pretty soon after he stopped throwing them. So he dished a bunch of them out to my roommate, who then gave a few to me, and I still have this one here. So that's just kind of a cool disc. It's really overstable, 10 speed, and yeah, got it from Paul Macbeth's reject out of his bag. So pretty cool. Down here on this next level is where all my Destroyers are. I throw a lot of Destroyers. I can't say that I have too many like rare or cool ones, honestly. I've got like some of the like Christmas ones. I've got a couple of those. Those are pretty cool. I think I just recently found this one. This is an Avery Jenkins Destroyer, which is pretty neat. But I got some cool dies. That's a pretty cool one there. I dyed this one, say it's bow time, because I love Bojangles. This is a pastry dyes one right here. I've definitely got I've got a few pretty neat ones for sure. Nothing super rare though. This disc here is kind of cool. This has a long story. This is like a pro destroyer, and one of my roommates drew Squidward on it, threw it for a while, and then it ended up getting to my brother. He lost it. I think he still wants it, but it's mine at the moment. And so it's called Squiddy. That's what we always called this disc. Yeah, okay, so that does it for the Innova. That's one of like the main manufacturers that I have. The other one would be Trilogy, which we'll get into next with the bottom of this rack here. So, yeah, Trilogy putters, I have quite a few of, mostly because I have used Judges, Slammers, Harps, and Pures, like 4 putters from them, quite a lot. Also, I was on Team Dynamic for like a year, so I was given a lot of these with my allotment. I didn't really sort out these putters, I just realized, but I'll start with the Slammers because I'm trying to see how many I have. I've been able to acquire a good few of these. They're out of production, but people know that I love them. So like for instance, I think I just have 4 of these, but these are like the original Slammer that I threw, and I've been able to acquire now 4 of them, which is really neat. People have gifted me these, I've found them, but these are like a run that I really like to throw. So I've got plenty of backups there. I've got a few others that I've found. This is one that I found that's a classic soft Slammer. I want to say that I have a first run as well somewhere. Right here maybe? Yeah, this is a first run Slammer that Robbie C just gave me. So I've been lucky to, I fell in love with the disc. They don't really make anymore, but I'm lucky to have some people that have been able to track them down for me. Yeah, just going through, yeah, here's another first run Slammer right here that Robbie C also gave me. Going through some other stuff, I do have, and I've showed this off before, but I have a few really cool Judges. This one was used in my first and only win in the disc golf world in 2014. My first tournament I ever played, I won. It's my only one to this day, and my only win to this day. And so yeah, I still have that. I have quite a few Judges. I've got a couple of these Emerson Keith ones. This is like my favorite throwing putter ever. These are Foundation ran these for Emerson Keith way back in the day before I was even part of Foundation. And these are Fusion Judges. This one, Hunter wrote, make sure you don't early release this upshot, okay? If this isn't inside of 10 feet, you're screwed. I lost a bet or something and he got the right on my disc. And then recently I just found another one of these, which is pretty crazy because there was only like 100 made. So that's pretty neat. Other cool stuff. I mean, I just got a lot of good throwing putters, really. I've got some Saki Slammers as well. I've got like a first run and a proto Saki Slammer. These are just a little too stable. They weren't quite what I was looking for. That's why I like the original Slammers. But yeah, then I've got a bunch of throwing Judges. This one has been a favorite of mine. This 10-year anniversary Lucid Ice Judge, nice and stable. I'm sure that'll end up back in my bag at some point. But yeah, just a bunch of good throwing putters, really. I don't think there's anything else too special. Oh, here's another Slammer Robbie C gave me. Robbie C is really, he lost my first Slammer and he felt a lot of guilt and gave me a lot of ones since then. So shout out to Robbie for that. He's a good friend. Yeah, nothing else too crazy. I've got a couple prototype EMAC Judges. When I was on Team Dynamic, they gave you prototypes of new discs, and so I got these. My wife scribbled all over this one for a video or something. Yeah, okay, on to some mid-ranges. Don't have a ton of mid-ranges in the Trilogy world, but I do have some cool ones, and one of the cool things I have are these. These are Truths, Dynamic Disc Truths, but they have the Dark Horse stamp. I have a few Trilogy discs with the Dark Horse stamp because when Brody was first getting into disc golf, obviously all the companies were reaching out to him. They were interested in signing him, and one of those companies was Dynamic Discs. They dyed his logo with their Dymax on a bunch of different discs, and Brody obviously didn't choose them. He gave these to me. He said, hey, you can have these, just throw them, don't sell them. And I haven't sold them yet, so I've made good on that promise. But they're pretty cool because they don't exist outside of me owning them. So any Brody fans, he'd probably let me give one of these away if you promise not to sell it, but I don't know. I'd have to ask him. So you feel free to comment down below that you want these, because I would give one away, but I'd have to get his permission as well. Got some compasses. I really like this one. This is a recycled one that I found in the used section in Charlotte. Really like this Justice. This is from the first Paul Macbeth Foundation project. It's a Lucid Ice Judge. Really neat, but nothing too crazy in that section. I never really loved the Trilogy mid-ranges that much. They were okay, they flew great, but I didn't love the feel of them. Okay, we're gonna move over to the bottom of this. We're kind of in the middle. We're gonna jump around a little bit because this is the rest of the Trilogy. As you can see, most of the Trilogy I had was the putters because this is all the drivers, not that much. Starting with the fairways, these are just a couple random Castleclass discs. Fairways, see here's another one of these Brody discs. This is a breakout right here. The ones that I bunch in the most here are Diamonds and Mavericks, and Felons. Funny enough, I have a bunch of Felons. This one's really cool. When I joined Team Dynamic, this is signed by, I believe, AJ Risley, Eric Oakley. I'm trying to think who else signed this. Tough to read the signatures on these. Danny Lindahl might have signed this. I'm not sure. Somebody can probably tell me who signed these. But yeah, this was like the Oakley Felon, and they gave this to me when I joined Team Dynamic. I've got a bunch of other Felons. I've got like a team stamped one here. It's like a double stamped foundation one. That's pretty cool. And I never really loved the Felon that much, but I have a bunch of them. I then have the Diamond. I have a bunch of these. I do love the Diamond. This is my most recent one. I thought this was in my bag. I guess not. But I love this disc. I wrote flight numbers on this one for like a meme or something. Don't remember why. But and then I also have a good bit of Mavericks. By a good bit, I mean I have 3 of them. I don't really stock up. Like, I'm not a professional player. So like, as much as it would make sense for me to like just stock up on all the molds I know I'm gonna bag, I like to switch things in and out like a decent bit. So you're never gonna see me carry that much of a certain disc unless I like collecting it. Because like I throw the Maverick, I've thrown it a lot throughout my life, but I only have 3. This one was in my bag for a long time. I got a couple of Vaders, some prototype ones are pretty cool, but nothing too crazy here. Distance drivers, these are mostly Raiders and Trespasses. Because that's typically what I've thrown. So I have a couple cool Raiders. This one here is a lure dyed one that Michael Holt gave to me. So it's got like the molt on the back there. Very, very cool. I've got like a Huck Lab Trespass. I think I've also got some like Brody stamped ones of these as well, which is pretty neat. I've got a few Graces. I got like a first run Grace. I thought I was going to bag this disc for like the rest of my life when I first came out. It's really a good disc. I should throw it more. But I got a few of those. This was in my bag for a long time, this Sheriff that I think Hunter like stenciled in this, but yeah, loved this disc. Super, super flippy. So yeah, that's kind of the Trilogy drivers. We'll now hop down to the bottom of this shelf. This is the Disc Mania section. You'll notice all... Okay. This is the Discmania section down here. You'll notice I have a lot of Discmania putters, but that is because I have been putting with Rainmakers for this entire year, and also I've thrown a lot of P2s in my life. So on this end, you have P2s. These are all like thrower P2s. So I've got Sky God, a Luster P2. This S-Line P2 is like my first ever thrower. Another S-Line P2, a Sky God, and a newer like Glow C-Line P2. And then I've got just some random stuff. This Sensei I thought was really cool because it has the Davy Jones behind it. I thought that was really neat. So they did that. But then if you get into this part, and these are all Rainmakers, I'm pretty sure there might be a couple one-offs, but like these pink ones here are the ones I've been putting with this season. I still have a bunch of fresh ones, and I'm in October, so looks like I'm gonna have some extras. So if you want to comment that you want a Rainmaker, I would certainly give you one, or maybe 2. But yeah, their time is running up because end of the year, I don't know if they're going to be able to retain their title next year and win the putter poll. So probably be switching. But for those of you who don't know, every year I put out a poll for people to choose my putter for the year. I give the original suggestions, so you can't just vote that I use a Firebird or something. But Rainmakers won last year, and we'll probably be switching it up eventually. But yeah, they've been great to me this year. I've loved them. And Discmania sent me some, which was really cool. I've got some mid-ranges over here, some like original MD4s and such stuff that I've bagged. I've got like some Cloud Breakers. This was an original PD2 that was in my bag for quite some time. Very nice. Nothing too crazy. Moving up the shelf, I do have some Clash. Clash, like here and here. This was This is obviously a pretty newer company, but we've worked with them a few times to where I've been given a lot of Clash to use and test, so I've got a good bit. Most recently, this kind of got people stirred up. They did this double steady plastic where it's like over molded, but in a pattern. Like you can see, it's very unique. Nobody's really done this to my knowledge. It's still like in testing, but they got different patterns. Pretty cool. But they've got some really cool molds, like the mint I really like. Got a bunch of those. I really like this driving putter, the fudge that they've got. I like their naming system, honestly. They've got some of these peppermints as well. Pretty nice overstable approach disc. And yeah, I bagged the wild honey, so I've got a couple backups for that. It was originally called the honey, and then they changed it to wild honey. But yeah, so I've got some Clash stuff going on. I also have the spice somewhere. Yeah, I've got a couple of these spices. This is like an Eric Oakley disc that he made, and these are awesome. I had this one in my bag for a while, but really, really cool disc. So yeah, if you haven't checked out Clash, you definitely should. They're really nice. Okay, final parts of the shelves here. Here in the top shelf, this is my Discraft. So I have a decent amount of Discraft. I definitely used to have more. When I first joined Foundation, we were only selling Discraft, and I was only throwing Discraft and had a bunch. I gave a lot of it away because I just had too much of it, but yeah, we still have a decent amount. I have a lot of buzzes, so this entire top shelf are buzzes right here. Nope, that's a lie. Not this entire shelf, like here to here is buzzes, so I have a decent amount. I've still got a few of these CT photon ones that we did, or UV rather, CT ones, to where you put them under the sun and they change to purple. Pretty neat. This is a really cool disc right here. This is, my brother got this for me for my birthday or Christmas, but this is my childhood dog, Sunny, forever immortalized. He is still alive actually at this point. He's like 14 or 15, but he's been painted on here. Somebody did this custom. And it looks just like him. They took a picture and they did it, so that's really neat. I've got this pancake waffle cake buzz that Birdie and Ezra did. I've got a few iterations of the Halloween ones. I've got this like scary looking one that they did a couple years back, and then two of these Scream ones that are really cool. I got one of these newer 20-year buzzes that are just like stunning looking. But yeah, Patriotized buzz as well. It's pretty neat. Some pretty cool buzzes, honestly. Not a bad selection. I also have some drones. I actually love the drone. I don't bag it at the moment, but I have thrown these a lot. I think they're underrated. I got a Z Swirl one. I thought this one was really cool because it has like a drone on it, and it's the drone. And I got a couple of these crystal ones as well. I got a few Maltas, a few Meteors. I think this Meteor is pretty cool because it's like an old one that I found that has like the old Discraft stamping on it. Pretty neat. I've also got one that Foundation ran a while back. This is one of our custom runs that we did. And then, yeah, on to some of the Discraft putters. I also have my DGA putters over there. For those of you who follow me for a while, I putted with steadies last year for the entire year. So I do have like a scattering of steadies and like the stone, like rubber blend ones that they did. But yeah, I didn't have quite as many of those. I've got some challengers up here. I have a decent amount of zones. I actually just got this one from my parents today. This is a soft zone that was in my bag for a while. I got this already beat up and then just continued to, and this disc is like kind of magical. But I've got some cool zones. Pastry Dyes just sent this one out. I've thrown it in my bag a few times, but this is like one of the coolest dyes they've ever done. It's so sick. I've got a Zone OS up here. This one's pretty cool. This is a Ledgestone one they did, a CT zone from 2020. Yeah, pretty cool. Nothing too crazy, the Discraft putters though. I do have a couple of these new concept ones they're doing. These are the ringer version of it. I like the banger version better. For the record, I got stuck with these ones because nobody else wanted them. So that's where they are right now. And then lastly, Discraft drivers down here. So I've just got a couple different like molds down here. I've got Passions. I've got a couple. This was just a stock one. This was a first run Passion. This one was out of Brody's bag. He lost it at USDGC. Some guy gave it to me, and I have to give it to Brody, but maybe I won't. We'll see. If he's watching this, which he kind of does watch these maybe, so if he sees this, he can claim it. He gave me this one. It's always a Passion. Pretty cool, the Jawbreaker Z. And this is one that we just ran for getting 100,000 subscribers on the Foundation YouTube channel. which was pretty cool. I have quite a bit of Stalkers because that is another disc that I throw. I say quite a bit, like quite a bit for me as I have 4 of them. I've got a few Stalkers here to kind of toss in the bag because I'm throwing a bunch of these right now. I just love them. And then, yeah, a few other things sprinkled out in here. I got one of these Test Flight Cicadas, one of the new Discraft molds. And then I also have, this is kind of cool. This is a First Flight Bonsai that DJA made that I got at, I believe this is my first Disc Golf National Championships that I went to. Yeah, it is 2018. So that's kind of a cool little keepsake there. That was part of the players pack. Yeah. Anyways, I've got a few Hurricanes. That's another disc that I really like. I got 4 of these. I love the Hurricane. These are super cool. This white one is my favorite. I also really love this circle die one. These have been in and out of my bags a lot. This disc is so good. It's like, it's almost too good to throw. I have a few Nukes as well. I actually got a couple of these Nuke SS's that we ran with Foundation a while back. These are really, really awesome. They're Glow Z. Got this one from Birdie as well. This is a Nuke OS, a Yuli one. It's a Z Lite Nuke OS. Interesting disc. Yeah, then just a kind of a few forces scattered in. This is a funny one. This one I lost this, and then when it was returned to me, it was signed by Brody Smith, Paul Macbeth, Hunter Thomas, Hannah Macbeth, my friend Devin Schwartz, and Ryan Shoemate as well. So some interesting signatures on there. Quite an interesting gathering of signatures. But yeah, I think that's definitely one of a kind. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's basically, oh, this is a great one to finish on here. This is a crank that Hunter dyed with Prison Mike from The Office. I know people are going to be commenting wanting this one, and I could definitely give this one up. So, yeah. Okay. Wow. That was a mouthful. I've never even done that before. I've never gone through all of these discs. If you're still watching, then you must be like me and really like looking at other people's disc collections. Let me know in the comments. What did you think? Did you expect me to have more discs, less discs? Were you impressed? Are you not impressed? I think my collection is like not insane, but like it's cool. And there's some nice stuff in there, and it's a little sprinkle of this and that. Remember also comment down below if you saw a disc, even if you think you saw a disc, if you're like, you didn't pull that one out, but I know thought I saw something. Comment down below what you'd like, and I'm going to pick a few people to win those discs, and I'll send them out to you because I think that'd be cool to share my collection with you guys. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you watching and supporting this channel, so I want to send you some of this plastic. So yeah, I would say the only discs that are really off limits was like the ones that have to do with like my history, like my first putter, the first putter I won with, but anything else, just toss it down there, and maybe I'll pick you and be like, not that disc, but pick a different one or something like that. But yeah, that was it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Once again, shout out to Heiser Racks for sending out these racks for me. Make sure to check out that link in the description and check out their site if you're interested in these. They are awesome, and they are really spruced up my collection for sure. But yeah, let me know. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We just hit 16,000 subscribers, which is insane. Very, very cool. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so. And next week, I think we have a video that you're really going to enjoy. So make sure to be back next Monday, and we'll see you then.